All right, guys. So the next fight I'm going to break down is Ian Garry against Gabe Green. Um, this is Ian's third fight in the UFC, and his first two opponents, he has two victories, a 9-0 record, 24 years of age, and he's 6'3". He was getting touched up. Um, he was getting touched up by Jordan Williams in that first fight before he knocked him out. And he was on his bike for 3 rounds against Darian Weeks, who isn't known to be a particularly proficient striker. He's taken on Gabe Green, who far and beyond will be the toughest fight of Ian Garry's career. Now, this fight will be very interesting because um, it's gonna prove if Ian Garry is truly as good as he says he is. And if he is, I would say congratulations. And then maybe we can start talk about him being, a serious prospect or a contender, in this division. But you know, like you can't, you can't go around like you're the next best thing since sliced bread and have that type of performance. Like I don't think there's anybody on planet Earth that rates Ian Garry as highly as Ian Garry rates Ian Garry. Um, and I think in mixed martial arts there are fighters, there are athletes, and there are mixed martial artists. And I think Ian Garry's a very good athlete. Um, but tell me his best opponent who he's beaten. Who has he beaten? He Jack Grant in Cage Warriors maybe. Okay. Former 155er. Rostam Akman, losing streak, impressive KO, fair enough. Jordan Williams, you call him. Darian Weeks, a guy who may or may not even still be in the UFC. I'm not sure. To be honest, whoever won that fight, the fans were the losers, and they asked Uncle Dana about that fight after. Dana, how did you feel about Ian Gary's performance? Yeah, yeah, he looks good. Dana White is the best promoter on planet Earth. If he says, "Oh, he looked good," that means he's fucking disgusted with you, bro. If he liked it, he would be hyping you fucking up. This guy's the next best guy out of Ireland since Conor McGregor. This guy is phenomenal. Like Dana would be fucking hyperbolating you out the fucking wazoo, bro, if you did what you were supposed to do. But a win is a win, technically. But the conspiracy theorist in me thinks that then decided, okay, fuck this guy. He says he's this and he's that. He fights like this. If he's going to be getting a spot in a big card like this, let's give him a real guy and let's fucking see. Let's fucking see. I think it's after pissing Uncle Dan off with that last performance, and Uncle Dan is after fucking throwing him in the shark tank against a real fucking guy in Gabe Green, and he's gonna see if Ian Garry can swim or not. Instead of giving him a fucking inflatable life jacket and mollycoddling like he does some guys, because the likes of the Pimblets, the O'Malley's, the McGregors that he's done that with in the past. While admittedly their opponents have been hand selected, they've also done their part. They've had the impressive knockouts. They've had those viral moments. Ian Garry was incredibly tentative against a guy who probably in 18 months' time, no disrespect, there, there's a very good chance this guy might not even be in the UFC anymore. In fact, I'm not even sure if he will get another fight in the UFC. I don't like they're giving Ian Garry the lower level of the division, and he has struggled so far. This is by far and away a much bigger test. And truth be told, I'm going Gabe Green, second round stoppage. I believe he pressures him. I don't think Ian Garry likes his power. If Ian Garry was tentative against Darian Weeks, God knows what his game plan is going to be. I will say Ian Gary's still defeated, and maybe there's the chance that he is as good as he says he is, and he did have an off night. He did have an off night against Darren Weeks, and maybe he catches Gabe Green with a head kick, and if he does that, I will make a video eating humble pie and saying fair play, Ian Gary. Maybe you are fucking the Irish Darren Till or whatever, or you can be on that type of level in the future, in the future, Gary. But in the present, not the future, in the present, you're not looking all that, mate. Like in the present and in the very near future on Saturday, I think respectfully you are gonna get chinned. Or like I just Gabe Green's got power, and maybe a loss will be the best thing that'll ever happen to Ian Gary, because um, I don't know who's favouring this fight. I haven't checked it, but I think give Gabe Green like a Chaos Williams next, and give Ian Gary a little bit of time off, a little bit of time training. Like you know, if Ian Gary goes out there and does Gabe Green, give him the fucking rocket strap. But anybody with like real MMA knowledge, this kid, he's tall, he's got the look, he can talk well, he can look good against low level opposition, but when it really comes to the grittiness of the fight game, when he's really dragged into that dogfight, we haven't seen that yet, and I believe we are going to see it against Gabe Green. And I believe that Gabe Green is just too seasoned. He's too tough for him. He's too durable. He's too durable, and I just think he's a meaner, nastier, stronger, tougher dude than Ian Gary, and that's gonna show. You can have all the skills in the world, but if you don't have that fucking pit bull inside you, you're only gonna go so far. But I do think in the future we see Ian bounce back. They'll probably give him one of the Koski brothers. Those are very winnable fights from. Or if you want to try to give him like a Miguel Baeza, who was also who was on a 3-fight losing streak. If Ian loses, and I actually think that stylistically, especially with Miguel having a questionable chin, let's just say, that is a winnable fight for Ian Gary at this stage, and it's also a good win on paper. So you know, in not to say his moniker too many times accidentally, but in the future maybe he can be a decent fighter, a decent contender, but in the present, right now is a gift. Gabe the Gift Green. In the present, Gabe the Gift Green takes it.